My daughter took me to a health spa to spend time together, but when she left, the administrator grabbed my hand and whispered, "Don't drink anything from her hands." I ran out through the emergency exit and rushed home. What I saw there made me freeze in horror. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know where you are listening in the comments. The Lexus smelled like vanilla and something else I couldn't place, something chemical. Darla had picked me up at 10:15, which was unusual because my daughter never picked me up for anything. I followed her in my Camry instead, keeping 2 car lengths back on Scottsdale Road. Old habit from when I used to tail witnesses who didn't want to be found. "Dad, when's the last time you had a full physical?" I glanced at her profile. She was gripping the wheel tighter than necessary. "Darla, I just had my checkup in December. Dr. Patterson said I'm healthier than men 20 years younger." "Sure, but you're 68 now. Things change fast at your age. Have you thought about updating your medical proxy, your advance directive?" "My what?" "Honey, I swim 40 laps every morning. I'm fine. I'm just saying we should be prepared. You know, in case what?" She went quiet. Then started talking about the spa, how I'd love their hot stone massage, how I deserve to relax more. The thing about being a forensic psychologist for 37 years is you learn to hear what people aren't saying. Darla was selling me something, and it wasn't a massage. The Serenity Springs parking lot was half empty. I pulled into a spot near the exit. Force of habit. Always know where the exits are. My late wife Fiona used to make fun of me for that. "You're not testifying in court anymore, Quentin. Nobody's going to ambush you at Trader Joe's." Funny how I still thought of her in present tense sometimes. A year since the accident, and my brain kept forgetting she was gone. Inside, the spa smelled like eucalyptus and money. Darla headed straight for the reception desk, her heels clicking against the marble floor. I stood in the waiting area, looking at a wall fountain that probably cost more than my first car. A young woman in flowing white robes offered me herbal tea from a silver tray. The cup was warm against my palms. "Mr. Harper?" I turned. A woman in her 50s stood there, thin fingers wrapped around my wrist. Her grip was urgent. Her eyes were frightened. "I'm sorry. Do I know you?" 15 years ago, the Thornton divorce case. You testified about my husband's manipulation patterns. You saved my life." My memory kicked in. Velma Thornton? Please." She glanced toward the reception desk, where Darla was talking to a man in a suit, her hands gesturing too much, her voice too animated. "I've worked here 3 years. I know warning signs when I see them. Your daughter, she asked about our relaxation sedation services. She wanted something specific, strong. She said you were difficult to manage." My hand stopped halfway to my mouth, the teacup hovering in air. "That doesn't mean—" "She paid cash for the premium treatment, $2,000. Nobody pays cash for that. And she kept asking how long until someone would be fully relaxed. Mr. Harper, I deal with worried families all the time. This isn't worry. This is planning." The word hung there between us. At the reception desk, Darla turned, saw me with Velma. Her expression changed, something flickering behind her eyes that I'd seen in cross-examinations when a witness realized their story was falling apart. I set down the tea, didn't drink it. My hands found my car keys in my jacket pocket. "Where's the emergency exit?" Velma pointed. "Through that door, past the locker rooms." But I was already walking, not running. Walking draws attention. I had taught that to clients heading into hostile courtrooms. Move with purpose, not panic. The emergency exit alarm screamed when I hit the bar. The sound was probably the loudest I'd moved in 5 years. Behind me, I heard Darla's voice rising, calling my name. The Arizona sun hit my face like a slap. I squinted, fumbled with my keys, dropped them once before getting the door open. My Camry started on the second try. In the rearview mirror, I saw Darla burst through the spa's main entrance, looking left and right, her phone already at her ear. I pulled out of the parking lot, heading south. My phone started buzzing before I reached the first intersection. Darla's name lit up the screen. I declined the call. It rang again immediately. Call number 2, then 3, 4. My hands were shaking on the wheel. I pulled onto the shoulder near a Walgreens, tried to breathe. The phone kept buzzing. 5, 6, 7. Text messages started flooding in. "Dad, where are you? Dad, answer your phone. This isn't funny. Are you okay? I'm calling the police if you don't answer. Why would you just leave like that? I'm trying to do something nice. Something nice? Right, like the way a spider does something nice for a fly. Call number 8. I declined it. Started driving again, heading home to Desert Ridge. 20 minutes through midday traffic, my phone buzzing every 30 seconds. She sounded like she was memorizing my symptoms for a medical school exam. Or a life insurance questionnaire. By call number 9, I'd created a new personal record. Usually took her at least 12 calls before she gave up wanting something. I turned onto my street, already planning what I'd pack. Maybe head to Felix's place in Tempe for a few days, figure this out. But my garage door was open. I never left it open. Through the gap, I could see a silver Honda parked inside, next to my empty spot. My phone buzzed, not Darla this time. Unknown number. The text read, "Dad, it's Felix. Don't go inside. Call me now." I was already stepping out of my car, already hearing voices from inside my house, filtering through the laundry room window I'd left cracked that morning. Multiple voices. One of them was arguing about something. One of them was laughing. One of them sounded impossible. It sounded like Fiona. The back door key slipped from my fingers. I bent to grab it, tried again, metal scraping against metal 3 times before the lock turned. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Inside the laundry room, I stopped, listened. Definitely voices from the living room. I kicked off my shoes. Old habit. Fiona hated when I tracked dust through the house. Had hated. Past tense. Because she was dead. Had been dead for a year. Closed casket funeral. I'd collapsed at the gravesite. Couldn't speak for 3 days afterward. But that laugh coming from my living room, that was her laugh. The one she'd use when she thought someone was being ridiculous. I'd heard it 10,000 times in 43 years of marriage. I gripped the kitchen counter edge, visions swimming. The granite was cold under my palms. My heart was hammering so loud I was sure they'd hear it, whoever they were, whatever this was. Maybe I was having a stroke. Maybe the stress from the spa had triggered something. 68-year-old men had strokes. Dr. Patterson had warned me about stress, but my legs were working. I moved through the kitchen, staying close to the wall. The hallway stretched ahead, the living room door partially open. French doors. We'd installed them 5 years ago. Fiona had wanted natural light. I leaned against the hallway wall, slid inch by inch toward the opening, heard Vernon's voice first. "Vernon, stop pacing. You're making me nervous." That was her. That was Fiona's voice. Not a recording, not my imagination. Her actual voice, live and present and impossible. "Making you nervous?" Vernon's voice cracked. Darla just called. He disappeared from the spa, just gone, through an emergency exit. I pressed closer to the wall, barely breathing. So what? Old men get confused. He probably forgot where he parked. He's not confused. You don't know him like... He was sharp at dinner last month. Too sharp. He asked about the life insurance payout, why it took so long. "And what did you say?" Darla handled it. Said there were complications with the accident investigation. "See? Handled. Now relax before you give yourself a stroke." I shifted position slightly. Could see through the gap now. Vernon was pacing near the fireplace, sweating through his polo shirt. And there, on my couch, sitting like she'd never left, was Fiona. Different haircut, shorter, darker, jeans and a sweater I'd never seen. But her face, her hands, her. She was holding a coffee mug, my favorite mug. The one that said, "World's Best Psychologist." The one I'd bought myself for my 65th birthday because nobody else remembered. I can't do another year of this. Vernon wiped his forehead. That extended stay on McDowell smells like mildew and failure. You think I like it? A year of hiding while you 3 lived in my house? My phone vibrated against my thigh. I grabbed for it, too late. The buzzing sound carried into the living room. Did you hear that? Hear what? A phone, buzzing, from the kitchen. "Vernon, you're paranoid." "No, listen." Silence. Complete silence. I could hear my own breathing, too loud, too fast. My shoe scraped against the tile as I turned. "Someone's here! Check the kitchen!" I ran, didn't think, just moved. Through the kitchen, past the laundry room, slamming the back door open. Pain shot through my shin as I crashed into the patio chair I'd cleared 1,000 times. Today it jumped into my path, like it was working for them too. The fence gate was unlocked. I burst through into Horace's backyard, nearly knocked over his bird feeder. His back door opened before I reached it. He must have heard the commotion. Quentin? What? You look like you've seen a ghost. I stumbled past him into his kitchen, couldn't catch my breath, couldn't form words. I did. I saw. Horace, Fiona's alive. What? Son, sit down. You're not making sense. My wife, Fiona, dead for a year. She's in my living room, with Vernon, drinking coffee from my favorite mug. Horace guided me to a chair. His hand was steady on my shoulder. Retired firefighter. He'd seen people in shock before. Quentin, I was at her funeral. We all were. So was I. But she's alive. I just saw her. I heard her. My phone was buzzing nonstop. I pulled it out with shaking hands. The screen was full of messages. Felix. Dad, please call me. Felix. I know about Mom. Felix. I'm so sorry. Felix. I wanted to tell you. Darla. Dad, where are you? Darla. We need to talk right now. Unknown. Number? Mr. Harper. This is Velma from the spa. Are you safe? Horace was opening a cabinet, pulling out a bottle. Want to tell me what's going on? He poured whiskey into a glass. 11 in the morning, I took it. New personal record. I don't know. Velma from the spa warned me about Darla. Said she was trying to, I don't know what, sedate me? Then I came home and Fiona's there, alive, talking about hiding, living in some extended stay hotel, with Vernon, talking about my house like it's hers. The words sounded insane coming out of my mouth. But Horace didn't look at me like I was crazy. He looked worried. Felix texted me. He said he knows about it, about her. He knew she was alive. My son knew. My own son knew his mother was alive and didn't tell me. Horace's landline rang. We both stared at it. The old rotary phone on his kitchen wall, probably the last one in Arizona. He picked up. Hello? Yes, he's here. No, Darla, I don't think that's a good idea right now. Because he looks like he's having a heart attack, and you sound like you're planning his funeral. He hung up, looked at me. Want to tell me what the hell is going on? Before I could answer, we heard car doors slamming. Through Horace's front window, we could see my driveway, Darla's white Lexus. And behind it, the silver Honda. Fiona stepped out of the Honda. She looked directly at Horace's house. No hesitation. She knew exactly where I was. Started walking toward the front door, Vernon a few steps behind her, Darla following. My dead wife was walking toward me, and she didn't look surprised to find me alive. She looked annoyed. Basement, Horace whispered. Now. We moved fast for 2 men over 65. Down his narrow stairs, past storage boxes and Christmas decorations, crouching behind the old water heater that probably dated back to the Carter administration. Through the floor joists above, I heard footsteps on his front porch, then knocking, 5 sharp raps. Horace, it's Fiona Harper. Is Quentin in there? Her voice, clear as daylight, the same voice that used to call me for dinner, that sang off key in the shower, that whispered my name in the dark for 40 years. My hand pressed over my mouth, not to keep quiet, to keep from screaming. I know your friends, neighbors. Please, he's confused. I'm worried about him. Horace's hand gripped my shoulder. Through the small basement window well, we could see shadows moving on his porch. 2 people, maybe 3. Darla, let me try. Vernon's voice. Mr. Mitchell, we know this looks strange, but Quentin had an episode today, at the spa. He ran out, hasn't been thinking clearly. We just want to make sure he's safe. Safe? The word echoed in my head. Like a sedative in herbal tea is safe. Like a forged death certificate is safe. 10 minutes crawled by. More knocking, more concerned voices. Finally, footsteps retreating, car doors, engines starting. Silence. Is she gone? Still on the porch. I can see her shadow through the window well. What's she saying? Something about you being confused, that she's worried. Jesus, Quentin, she sounds so normal. That's the point. 40 years of marriage. She knows exactly how to sound. We stayed down there another hour. Horace's basement smelled like mothballs and regret. Mostly mine. Here I was, a 68-year-old man hiding from his dead wife like a teenager dodging prom. When we finally climbed back upstairs, my knees cracked loud enough to wake the neighbors. Horace made coffee. I sat at his kitchen table, staring at my hands. They were shaking, not trembling, full shaking, like I had palsy. Did you really not know that she was alive? The question hung there. I thought about her funeral. February 14th. Valentine's Day. The closed casket because the accident had been so severe, they said. I'd spoken at the service, couldn't get through 3 sentences without breaking down. I'd bought the plot next to hers so we could be together. I cried at her funeral, Horace. I spoke at her funeral. My voice broke. Horace looked away, gave me privacy. Okay, we don't have to. I bought the plot next to hers so we could be together. Horace refilled my coffee without asking. We sat in silence while my brain did what it was trained to do. Started analyzing. 37 years as a forensic psychologist. You don't just turn that off. Patterns. Warning signs I'd missed. 3 months ago, Thanksgiving. Darla asking about my will. Had I updated it recently? What about my medical proxy? Who had access to my accounts if something happened? January. Her sudden interest in my health. Questions about my swimming routine. Was I taking vitamins? Had I considered a full checkup? Maybe I should slow down at my age. 2 weeks ago. She'd suggested I consider one of those luxury senior communities. Not a nursing home, she was quick to clarify. Just a place with services, support, medical staff on site, for peace of mind. I'd laughed it off, told her I was healthier than men half my age. Now I wondered how long they'd been planning this. Against Horace's advice, I drove to the Scottsdale Police Department. "This is a mistake," he said as I grabbed my keys. "What are you going to tell them?" "The truth. My wife faked her death. My daughter tried to drug me. I have credentials. 237 court testimonies. They'll believe me." They didn't. Detective Raymond Walsh was maybe 45, with the tired eyes of someone who'd heard every story twice. He listened to me for 3 minutes before the expression changed, from professional interest to professional concern. "Mr. Harper, I understand you're upset. I'm not upset. I'm telling you what I saw. My wife, who supposedly died in a car accident last February, is alive. She's in my house right now with my son-in-law." "And you're certain it was her? Not someone who resembles—" "Detective, I was married to her for 40 years. I think I know my own wife." "Sir, grief can do strange things. Sometimes we see what we want." "I don't want to see her. I mourned her. Do you understand what you're—" "Mr. Harper, please lower your voice." Walsh leaned back in his chair. "When was your last physical? Has your family expressed concerns about your memory?" The question hit like cold water. "That's what I thought. Sir, I think you should talk to your doctor." I pulled out my wallet, trying to show my credentials. My hands were shaking so badly the cards scattered across his desk. Business cards from expert witness cases, retired credentials, letters of commendation. I scrambled to collect them, while Walsh watched with something that looked like pity. "Mr. Harper, there's no crime here. No evidence of anything except—" He paused, choosing words carefully. "Perhaps stress. Maybe confusion. At your age—" I'd testified in court 237 times. Never lost credibility once. Took me 20 minutes with Detective Walsh to destroy 3 decades of professional respect. New personal record. I drove to a Starbucks parking lot on Scottsdale Road and sat there. The kid at the drive-thru came out after 40 minutes, asked if I was okay. I was sitting in a parking spot staring at nothing. "Just thinking," I said. He looked terrified. Probably thought I'd forgotten how to drive. But I wasn't confused. I was calculating. The police wouldn't help without proof. Fine, I'd get proof. My hobby, vintage recording equipment, restored tape recorders from the 60s and 70s, mini cameras from Cold War spy auctions, hidden microphones small as buttons. I'd collected them for 20 years. Fiona used to roll her eyes, call them my investment pieces. Turns out I was right. Just not the kind of investment I expected. By the time I returned to Horace's house, I had a plan. I used his landline to call Darla. Couldn't risk using my own phone. They might be tracking it. "Dad, oh my God, where have you been? I've been worried sick." I took a breath, slipped into character. 30 years of watching liars taught me exactly how to become one. "I'm sorry, honey. Something happened at the spa. I felt dizzy, lightheaded." "What? Dad, why didn't you call me?" "I was embarrassed. I drove to the urgent care on Shea. They kept me for a few hours, ran some tests." "Tests? What kind of tests?" "Blood work. They said maybe I was dehydrated, or they mentioned my age, said sometimes men my age experience episodes." Pause. I could almost hear her recalculating on the other end. Episodes? Dad, what does that mean? Confusion, disorientation. The doctor asked if I'd been forgetting things, seeing things that weren't there. Another pause, longer this time. Dad, that's serious. You need a full evaluation. Come stay with us. Vernon and I have plenty of room. I just need to rest, sweetheart. No, this can't wait. We need to get you to a neurologist. I'm calling Dr. Chen tomorrow. Darla, Dad, I'm trying to help you. Don't you trust me? Horace was watching from across the room, saw the mask slip into place. The performance. My free hand clenched and unclenched rhythmically. Old tell from cross-examinations. When I was lying. Of course I trust you. I just need one day. Let me rest. I'll call you tomorrow. Promise? Promise. After I hung up, we sat in silence. Horace refilled my coffee for the third time. You sounded just like you believed what you were saying, that you're confused, that you need help. I stared at my hands. They'd stopped shaking. 40 years I worked with liars, pathological, professional, desperate liars. You know what I learned? What? The best lies are 90% truth. My phone buzzed. Text from Felix. Dad, I know you're reading these. Mom made me promise not to tell you. She said you'd understand eventually. She said you'd forgive us. Dad, please, I'm so sorry. I deleted it, looked at Horace. I need to get into my house, tonight, and I need your help. We watched my house until the lights went out. 11:45. Vernon's Honda backed out first, followed by Darla's Lexus. They headed south, probably toward McDowell, that extended stay hotel Fiona had mentioned. Midnight. The street was quiet except for someone's sprinkler system clicking on 3 houses down. You sure about this? Horace handed me a walkie-talkie from my camping equipment. Ancient things from the 90s, but they worked. It's my house. You're breaking into your own house, at midnight. That feels like something that should be illegal. I'm borrowing my own belongings. You're installing spy cameras. Horace, you want to have this debate now, or want to warn me if someone shows up? Static silence. Then, clear on the street, but hurry up. I picked the lock on my own back door. Took me 40 seconds. Either I was getting good at this, or I needed better locks. Probably both. The skill came from forensic cases. You'd be amazed what you learn hanging around crime scene investigators for 3 decades. Inside, my house felt foreign. They'd moved things. Fiona's reading chair was at a different angle. The TV remote was on the wrong side of the coffee table. Small things. But after 40 years in the same space, you notice. I started in the living room, Encyclopedia Britannica, Volume M, hollowed out years ago for a Cold War-era mini camera, tiny lens, motion-activated, records to SD card. I positioned it on the shelf facing the couch, where I had seen Fiona sitting, where she'd drunk from my favorite mug. My Cold War spy mic collection was finally useful. I'd spent 20 years telling Fiona they were investment pieces. Turns out I was right, just not the kind of investment I expected. Behind the kitchen clock, under the dining room table, inside the air vent in the hallway. Each one smaller than a quarter, battery-powered, voice-activated. I worked methodically, checking angles, testing ranges with my phone app. The walkie-talkie crackled. How's it looking out there? Dark, quiet. Quentin, this feels illegal. Horace, we covered this. You've been in there 3 hours. Please hurry. 3 hours felt like 30 minutes, or 30 years. Hard to tell. The master bedroom was hardest. I stood in the doorway, hand on the frame, our bed. Fiona's side still had an indentation in the pillow, her favorite scarf draped over the chair. Lavender. I could smell it from the doorway. I made myself walk in, placed a camera on the dresser, hidden behind our wedding photo. The irony wasn't lost on me. Then I saw it. Her memory box on the closet shelf. The wooden one I'd bought her for our 20th anniversary. She kept letters inside, old photos, tickets from trips we'd taken. I opened it. On top, a document, official looking, crisp paper with embossed seals, death certificate, Arizona Department of Health Services, name, Fiona Catherine Harper, date of death, February 14th, 2024, cause, multiple traumatic injuries from motor vehicle accident. Signed by Dr. Marcus Webb, medical examiner. I held it under my phone light. The watermark was slightly off, too uniform. The signature looked traced. Professional forgery, but not perfect. I took photos from multiple angles, then kept digging. Underneath, another photo. Fiona and Darla, maybe 15 years ago. Arms around each other, both laughing. On the back, Fiona's handwriting. My best friend, my daughter, always. Next to it, older photo. Vernon teaching young Darla to ride a bike, his face full of pride and patience. These weren't always monsters. Something broke them. The money, the desperation, the lies. They became what they fought. I photographed those too. Evidence is evidence, even when it hurts. By 4 a.m., I was done. 7 cameras, 12 microphones, all connected to my phone. I could monitor from anywhere, record everything. Back at Horace's, I crashed on his couch, slept 3 hours, dreamed about Fiona. Not the alive one, the one I'd married, young and laughing and real. 10 a.m. Wednesday, I met Velma at Serenity Springs' back employee entrance. She was there early, looking over her shoulder every few seconds. Mr. Harper, I shouldn't be doing this. If she finds out, she won't, I promise. Just tell me what you saw. She came in 40 minutes before you, said she wanted the premium relaxation package for her father, asked very specific questions. What kind of questions? About our sedation options. We offer mild herbal sedatives for anxiety. She asked how strong they were. Could they be enhanced? Enhanced? Her word. I said we don't do that. She offered me $500 to make an exception. I refused. Then she asked about our liability waivers. What happens if a client has a bad reaction? Whether we call ambulances or family first. My stomach turned. Mr. Harper? She was planning something. The way she talked about you, like you were a problem to solve, not a person, not her father. She handed me a manila envelope. Inside, a receipt. Cash payment, $2,000. Her notes about the conversation, dated and signed. Thank you, Velma. 15 years ago, you saved my life. This doesn't even come close. Afternoon. I sat at my computer. Vernon's Honda was back in my driveway, but he was occupied. I could hear him through the hidden mics, talking to someone on the phone. My login credentials still worked. They hadn't bothered changing them. Arrogance, bank records, joint account, $500,000 from Mutual of Omaha, deposited February 28th, 2024. 2 weeks after Fiona's death. Immediately transferred to an account in Darla's name only. Then the money scattered. $180,000 to Desert Dreams Casino. Darla's gambling debts. I'd known she liked poker, didn't know she'd needed that much to cover losses. $220,000 to Crypto Resolve LLC. Quick search showed it was Vernon's company, recovery service for crypto losses. Reviews called it a scam. He'd been chasing his own mistakes. The remaining $100,000 sat in Darla's account, untouched, maybe waiting for the next emergency, or the next plan. I wrote everything down in a notebook, old school, paper trail to match the digital one. At 7 p.m., I called Felix, FaceTime on my computer. He answered from his Toronto apartment, avoiding eye contact. His eyes darted left when he spoke, lying tell. I'd taught him to avoid it during his teenage years. He still did it. Dad, I wanted to tell you, every day, every single day. But you didn't. She said you'd understand, that you and her needed space, that it was about you two, not about us. Felix, she's stealing from me. She faked her death for insurance money. I didn't know about that. I swear. She just said she was leaving, starting over. And you believed her? She's my mother. She was my wife. I buried her. Do you understand what that means? I stood at a grave and buried an empty coffin. He was crying now, full breakdown. 32 years old and crying like he was 12. There's more, isn't it? What else? Silence. His eyes darted left again. Felix. She knew about Charlotte, the architect, her husband. Mom said if I told anyone she was alive, she'd tell Charlotte's husband everything. He'd sue. I'd lose my license. Dad, I'm so sorry. I'm a coward. Yes, you are. I ended the call, sat in darkness, staring at my notebook, evidence piling up. Forged death certificate, bank records, Velma's statement, Felix's confession recorded on my phone. Enough to go to police again? Maybe, probably. Then my email pinged. Scottsdale Legal Services. Official letterhead. Subject, guardianship petition. RE, guardianship petition for Quentin Harper. Court date, March 3rd, 2025. Petitioner, Darla Harper Voss. Grounds, diminished capacity. Filed 3 hours ago. I had 2 weeks before the hearing. My phone rang. Darla, I let it go to voicemail. Dad, just checking in. I spoke to Dr. Chen. He has an opening tomorrow at 2. I'll pick you up at 1:30. This is for your own good. We love you. I deleted it, opened my notebook to a fresh page, wrote at the top, Day 1, Counterstrike. Under it, they want me declared incompetent. Let them try. I called Darla Thursday morning from my own house. Done hiding. Time to play offense. Dad, are you home? I was worried. I'm fine, honey. Been thinking clearly the past few days. I want to have a family meeting about my future, my estate. Silence. Then carefully measured enthusiasm. That's wonderful, Dad. When were you thinking? This afternoon, 2 o'clock. I spoke with Philip Rosenberg, my attorney. He suggested I update everything, given my condition. Your condition? I let my voice waver slightly. The confusion, the episodes. I need to make sure everything's in order, while I still can. Of course, absolutely. I'll bring Vernon, and I know a financial consultant who specializes in elder care planning. Helen, she's excellent. Helen, right. Perfect. See you at 2. Before they arrived, I moved through the house activating equipment. Encyclopedia Britannica Volume M on the living room shelf. Kitchen clock, hallway picture frame. The antique radio I'd restored last year. Perfect backup recorder. I tested audio levels on my phone, checked camera angles. Everything positioned to catch the couch where they'd sit. They arrived at 2 exactly. Darla's Lexus, then Vernon's Honda. The third person stepped out wearing a brown wig that looked like it came from a Halloween clearance bin. Heavy frame glasses, pure CVS reading section. Business suit, different makeup. 40 years of marriage, and she thought this was a disguise. I opened the door, played my role. Thank you all for coming. I know I've been difficult lately. Dad, you don't have to apologize. Darla hugged me, perfume too strong, overcompensating. No, Darla, I do. The spa incident. Running off like that. I think I got confused. The doctor said it might be early signs of... I trailed off, let them fill the gap. It's okay, Dad. That's why we're here, to help you. We settled in the living room. I guided them to the couch, perfect camera angle. I took the armchair, lapel mic disguised as a fountain pen in my breast pocket. I spoke with my attorney, Philip Rosenberg. You remember him, honey? Of course. He suggested I review my estate plans, update things, given my condition. They exchanged glances, quick, hungry. That's very wise, Dad. This is Helen, by the way. Darla gestured to Fiona. She's a financial consultant, specializes in elder care planning. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Harper. Fiona's voice, slightly deeper than normal, professional, distant, but her eyes. Those I'd know anywhere. So you're thinking of making changes to your will? Vernon leaned forward. Yes, I want to simplify things. Leave everything to Darla. She's been so attentive. Vernon sweated through his dress shirt. I could see the stains spreading under his arms like time-lapse photography of a flood. He kept adjusting his tie like it was strangling him. That's very generous, Mr. Harper, Helen said. Of course, there are steps to ensure. Once the guardianship process is complete, we can expedite the transfer. Vernon caught himself. His face went white. Vernon! Darla's voice could have cut glass. Heavy silence. I blinked, confused old man act. I'm sorry. What guardianship process? He means if you need care assistance in the future, Dad. Just planning ahead. Right, future. Sorry, Mr. Harper. I misspoke. Vernon wouldn't meet my eyes. I poured tea with slightly trembling hands. Real emotion breaking through. Used it. Made it look like elderly shakiness. You know, that insurance money from Fiona's accident really helped with expenses this year. Helen's teacup clattered against the saucer. Are you all right, Helen? Fine. Just hot tea. $500,000. I never thought I'd see that much money at once. Poor Fiona. She always said that policy was our safety net. Dad, maybe we shouldn't... Do you know what the hardest part was? The closed casket. They said the accident was too... severe. I never got to see her one last time. Helen stood abruptly. Excuse me, Restroom? Down the hall, second door. While she was gone, Darla and Vernon relaxed slightly, started discussing timeline. Dr. Chen's evaluation, Monday. Legal steps for guardianship. How the house sale would fund excellent care facilities. Helen returned, composed. But I'd seen her in the hallway through the kitchen. She'd stopped at the blue vase on the side table, touched it, ran her finger along the rim. Our 25th anniversary gift. Her favorite wedding present. Exact shade of blue from her childhood home in Oregon. She'd placed it in that spot herself, said morning light hit perfectly. She touched it the same way she always had. Muscle memory from 40 years. Then caught herself, jerked her hand back, looked around to see if anyone noticed. I noticed. They left at 5, thinking they'd won. Darla squeezed my hand. We'll take care of everything, Dad. You don't have to worry. Thank you, sweetheart. I waited until their cars disappeared, then slumped in my chair, hands over my face, breathing hard. The performance had cost more than I wanted to admit. 30 seconds. That's all I gave myself. Then I went to my office, plugged in all recording devices, started uploading files to encrypted cloud storage. 3 copies, cloud, external hard drive, thumb drive for the safe deposit box tomorrow. I pulled up the audio file, isolated one section, Vernon's voice, once the guardianship process is complete. Darla sharp. Vernon saved it separately, titled it Evidence 201 Conspiracy.mp3. My phone rang. Vernon, calling directly, not through Darla. That was new. I let it ring 4 times. Picked up. Vernon, everything all right? Heavy breathing on the other end. Mr. Harper, I need to talk to you, alone, without Darla knowing. My pulse quickened. About what? About what we're doing to you. I can't sleep anymore. This is wrong. The crack I was waiting for. When? Tomorrow, morning. There's a coffee shop on. Another voice in the background, muffled. Darla, Vernon's panic. I have to go. I'll call you back. Please don't. Line went dead. I sat back, poured bourbon, didn't taste it. Just watched my phone light up with a text from Horace. Your family okay? I replied, never better. The leather chair was still warm from Darla's seat, still smelled like her perfume. Chanel number 5. Ironic. That's what Fiona wore to our wedding. They were turning on each other, and I hadn't even pushed yet. Friday morning, 7 a.m. I sat at my desk reviewing old audio files. Found it 20 minutes in, recording from 3 weeks ago when Darla left her phone in my kitchen during a visit. She'd stepped outside to take a call on her car Bluetooth. Left her phone playing a voicemail on speaker. Her voice talking to Felix. Vernon's such a failure. Crypto losses, bad investments. But he's useful for now. Once this is done, I'm filing for divorce. I'd forgotten about that recording. My equipment captured everything. I created a burner email. concernedfriend2025@protonmail.com. Very spy movie. Very, I've made a huge mistake. Very effective. Attach the audio clip. Typed, thought you should know what your wife really thinks. A concerned friend. Sent it to Vernon's work email. My finger hovered over the send button for a full minute. This crossed a line from defense to offense. Changed the game from gathering evidence to psychological warfare. I clicked send. Sat back with coffee, put on headphones. Monitored the live feed from my house. 9 a.m., nothing. 10 a.m., nothing. 10:30, Vernon's Honda pulled into my driveway fast. Car door slammed with unusual force. His footsteps heavy on the porch. Door crashed open. He had a key. Darla was already there. I could hear her in the kitchen. What the hell is this? What? Vernon, why are you shouting? This! Listen to it. Just listen. Audio played through his phone speaker. Darla's voice. Vernon's such a failure. Useful for now. Filing for divorce. Coffee cup hit the wall. I heard it shatter. Where did you get that? Someone emailed it to me. Anonymous. From your conversation with Felix. That's out of context. I was venting. Out of context? You called me a failure. You're planning to divorce me. Vernon, calm down. We're under stress. I didn't mean, yes, you did. You meant every word. This whole thing, the insurance fraud, your dad, all of it. I'm just your useful idiot. You are useful. That's not an insult. Oh my God, do you even hear yourself? They were shouting loud enough that I didn't even need the hidden microphones. Horace texted me. Your family okay? I replied, never better. The argument escalated. Vernon was breaking, words spilling out. I did this for you. You're the one with the gambling debts. And you lost $200,000 in crypto. Because I was trying to fix your mess. The casino guys were threatening you. Don't you dare put this on me. Whose idea was it to fake your mother-in-law's death? Yours. You said it was foolproof. You found the guy with the cadaver. Shut up. Shut up. Why? Who's listening? Your dad's probably at his doctor appointment getting diagnosed with dementia. I took notes. Timestamps, cadaver, black market medical connection, casino threats, everything documented. This whole thing is falling apart. He ran from the spa. He's asking weird questions. Now someone's sending me recordings. It's probably Felix. He's always been weak. Or maybe it's your mom's boyfriend, the one who disappeared with $50,000. That was new. Fiona had a boyfriend who stole from her. The fight continued another 20 minutes. Eventually, Vernon left. Door slam, engine roar, gone. 3 p.m., I called Darla, casual, innocent. Hi, honey, just checking in. How are you? Fine, Dad. Little busy today. Her voice was strained. I understand. I was just thinking about yesterday. That Helen woman. What about her? Something about her was so familiar. Her voice, maybe, or the way she moved. Very graceful. She's a professional consultant, Dad. No, it was more than that. She touched the blue vase, your mother's favorite. Do you remember that vase? Of course. Helen touched it exactly the way Fiona used to. Same gentle motion. Isn't that odd? Pause. Too long. People touch things, Dad. It doesn't mean anything. I suppose. But her eyes, when she looked at me, I saw, I don't know, recognition, like she knew me. Dad, you're reading too much into... Maybe you're right. Maybe I am confused. But I could have sworn... Well, never mind. How's Vernon? He seemed nervous yesterday. Vernon's fine. Good, good. You two are solid, right? Marriage is hard. Takes trust. Yes, Dad. We're fine. That's good. Trust is everything. I hung up, doodled on my notepad, drew a noose tightening. 6 p.m., they were back at my house. Both of them. Another fight. Your dad called me. Vernon's voice strained. What? When? This afternoon. Asked to meet tomorrow. Said he needed to talk to me alone. What did you say? I didn't answer. It went to voicemail. But Darla, he knows something. He doesn't know anything. He mentioned Helen, said she looked familiar, said she moved like your mother. So what? Lots of people. He's not stupid. I told you that disguise wouldn't work. It's been working fine for a year. Has it? Has it really? Because right now it feels like everything is falling apart. Furniture scraped. Someone stood up fast. Stop panicking. We stick to the plan. The plan? The plan was clean. Insurance money. He signs over the house. We put him in a home. Done. Now we've got guardianship hearings, mysterious emails, him making weird comments. So we move faster. Dr. Chen's evaluation is Monday. We get him declared incompetent, take control before he can... Before he can what, Darla? Before he outsmarts us? He's a forensic psychologist. He spent 35 years analyzing criminals. What if he's been analyzing U.S.? Vernon broke down, started crying. I didn't want this, any of this. You know what I wanted? To be good enough. For you, for your dad, for anyone. My whole life I've been the guy who almost made it, almost got the promotion, almost made the money. This was supposed to fix everything. Instead, I'm helping steal from a man who was kind to me, who taught me to play golf, who called me son. Silence. Long enough I thought the mic had cut out. Then Darla, harder. So we finish it, because stopping now means prison. For both of us. The humanity flickered out. Desperation won. Vernon left again. Then I heard Darla crying. Real crying, not performance. She was on her phone. Mom, I think we need to stop. This is getting too big. Vernon's losing it. Dad's asking questions. Someone's watching us. Fiona's voice through the speaker, cold. We can't stop. I'm legally dead, remember? We stop now, we all go to prison. You, me, Vernon, even Felix. So pull yourself together. Long silence. Okay. Darla's voice, small. Okay. After she left, I sat in darkness. This was going exactly as planned, except Vernon was genuinely cracking. Darla was starting to doubt, and desperate people do desperate things. My phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. Mr. Harper, this is Dr. Patterson, your physician. Someone requested your medical records today. Full psychiatric history. I denied the request, but thought you should know. They mentioned guardianship proceedings. Call me. I stared at the message. Monday's evaluation wasn't just corrupt testimony. They were building a paper trail, medical records, psychiatric history, evidence of decline, and they were moving faster than I thought. Saturday morning. The doorbell rang at 10. I checked the hidden camera feed first. Fiona stood on my porch, no disguise, wearing the blue cardigan I'd bought her 3 Christmases ago, hair down like she used to wear it on weekends, looking exactly like my wife. I opened the door with my phone recording in my jacket pocket. She broke immediately, tears streaming, hands shaking. Quentin, please, just let me explain. You're supposed to be dead, Fiona. I know how this looks, but I need you to understand. Understand? You let me bury you. I gave a eulogy at your funeral. It was supposed to be temporary, a break. Marco said we could come back, say there was a mistake, that I'd been in an accident and... Who's Marco? She came inside, collapsed on the couch, the same spot I'd seen her sitting with Vernon days ago. The man I thought I loved, the man who convinced me to throw away 40 years for nothing. He took the money and vanished. Real tears. I'd seen Fiona cry 1,000 times. Happy tears, sad tears, angry tears. These looked genuine. $50,000, my insurance money, our insurance money. He just... gone. She talked for 20 minutes. Detailed story. Marco, 48, from Phoenix. Met him online after retirement. Said he understood her crisis. Convinced her to fake her death. Start over fresh. Romance scammer. Took her money. Disappeared. She'd been alone in an extended stay hotel for a year. My psychological training warred with 40 years of muscle memory. She knew exactly what buttons to push. Do you remember our anniversary, the 25th? Fiona, you gave me that blue vase, said it reminded you of my childhood home, of Oregon skies. I remember. You said I was your sky, that everything beautiful came from me. She crossed to the mantel, picked up our wedding photo, traced my face in the glass with her finger. Tears dropped on the frame. My throat tightened watching. I've spent a year in a hotel room that smells like bleach and broken dreams, Quentin, watching that vase on my phone's photos, trying to remember who I was before I became this. You chose this? I was scared. I retired and suddenly I was just nothing. Not a teacher, not young, not needed. Marco made me feel needed or used. Long pause. Both. She asked to use the bathroom. I said yes. When she passed my office, I watched the hidden camera feed on my phone. She moved fast, professional. Photographed 3 documents on my desk in 15 seconds. Then back to normal walking speed. Reality snapped back. When she returned, I played the long game. Maybe we should talk to Darla, together. Try to, I don't know, figure this out? You do that, after everything? 40 years doesn't just vanish. Maybe there's a way to not fix this, but end it better than it's going. She hugged me suddenly, desperately. 40 years of muscle memory. She fit exactly as she always had. Thank you, God, thank you. I don't deserve this. No, you don't. After she left, I checked my jacket. Found the GPS tracker in my pocket. Tiny device. Professional grade. She'd planted it during the embrace. The GPS tracker was high-end. Professional grade. Probably cost $200. A year ago, she complained I spent $50 on vintage radio equipment. Priorities shift when you're a fugitive. I left it in the jacket, hung it by the door. Let them think they knew where I was. 4 p.m. Felix video called, frantic. Dad, I have to tell you everything. I can't do this anymore. His face was gaunt. Hadn't slept in days. Felix, slow down. What's happening? She called me this morning. Mom, said you two talked. Said you might forgive her. Dad, don't. Please don't. Why? Because she's been doing this for 2 years. 2 years. She contacted me 18 months before she died. Said she was leaving. made me promise not to tell. And you just agreed? She had evidence, Dad. Emails between me and Charlotte, the client, the married one. She threatened to send them to Charlotte's husband, to the licensing board, said I'd lose everything. My blood went cold. Jesus Christ. It gets worse. She's been taking money from me, monthly, said it was for keeping quiet. But Dad, I think she was using it to plan all this. The fake death. Everything. How much? $2,000 a month, for 18 months, $36,000 total. He was crying now, full breakdown. I wanted to tell you, every Sunday when I'd call, every Christmas, every time you mentioned missing Mom. But you didn't. I was scared. You don't understand what she's like when she wants something. She's not the mom we knew. She's cold, calculating. She said if I told anyone, she'd destroy Charlotte's marriage and my career, and she'd make it look like I came on to Charlotte, like I was the predator. Felix, I believed her, Dad, because I saw her do it. 10 years ago, remember Mom's friend Patricia, the one who suddenly moved away? Vaguely. Mom drove her out of town. Patricia knew Mom was having an affair with someone at school. Mom threatened to tell everyone Patricia was stealing from PTA funds. Made up evidence. Patricia left Arizona rather than fight it. I went completely still. Your mother did that? She's been like this longer than we knew. We just didn't see it. After the call ended, I sat at the kitchen table. Just sat. Didn't review recordings. Didn't plan. Stared at my wedding ring. Took it off. Put it back on. Took it off again. Poured bourbon. Hand shook so badly the bottle clattered against the glass. Didn't drink it. The woman I married existed. She'd held my hand at my mother's funeral. Stayed up 3 nights when Felix had meningitis. Laughed at my terrible jokes. Made coffee every morning for 4 decades. That woman was gone, but she'd existed, and I was destroying what was left of her. I put the ring back on, not because I forgave her, because taking it off meant accepting she was really gone. My phone buzzed. Text from Horace. There's a car parked across from your house. Been there for an hour. Silver Nissan. Should I be worried? I checked the doorbell camera. Silver Nissan. Someone in the driver's seat. Not Darla's or Vernon's car. Professional surveillance. My phone rang. Unknown number. Voicemail. Vernon's voice whispered, panicked. Mr. Harper, it's Vernon. Don't trust anything Fiona says. She's planning something. Something bad. I tried to stop her, but she won't listen. She said if you won't cooperate, she'll make you. I don't know what that means, but please be careful. I'm sorry. I'm so... Background noise. Darla's voice, sharp. Who are you calling? Then silence. Sunday morning, I tried calling Vernon back. Line disconnected. Texts undelivered. The silver Nissan stayed outside all night. Monday, 10 a.m. My doorbell rang. Process server, young kid, maybe 22, nervous. Are you Quentin Harper? Yes. I'm sorry about this. He handed me a thick envelope. You've been served. The process server was 22, nervous, clearly new at this. He kept saying sorry while handing me documents that accused me of dementia. I tipped him $20. Not his fault my family's a disaster. Emergency petition for temporary guardianship. Court date, March 3rd, 2025. 10 days. Attached evidence made my hands shake. Not from fear, from rage. 3 letters from Dr. Chen. Progressive dementia. Inability to manage finances. Danger to self. Medical records I'd never seen. Missed appointments I never had. Cognitive tests I never took. All fabricated. Darla's sworn affidavit. Escalating episodes of confusion and paranoia. Claims people are spying on him. Wanders from home disoriented. The irony, I was being spied on. There was literally a PI outside reading a Tom Clancy novel. 11 a.m. I met with my attorney, Hezekiah Moore, 65, elder law specialist. His office smelled like old books and expensive coffee. This is bad, Quentin. I know. They've created a paper trail. If we don't counter this with our evidence now, the judge might grant temporary guardianship at the hearing. We have the recordings, which are good, excellent actually. But we need criminal charges filed simultaneously. Insurance fraud, conspiracy. Get police involved immediately. I tried that already, Detective Walsh. Try again, with everything you have. Make him listen. 2 p.m., Scottsdale Police Department, Detective Walsh's office. Mr. Harper, What can I do for you? I played him the audio, Vernon's voice. Once the guardianship process is complete, showed him bank records, the $500,000 trail. Walsh's expression shifted, from professionally polite to engaged. Mr. Harper, I owe you an apology. You think? I thought you were confused, grieving, seeing things. And now? Now I'm listening to your daughter-in-law discuss guardianship procedures while your supposedly dead wife sits in your living room. So, yeah, I was wrong. Can you arrest them? Not yet. I need to present this to the DA, get warrants, verify the death certificate forgery, track down the cadaver source. That's weeks of investigation. I don't have weeks. I have 9 days until they take control of my life. I understand that, but I can't just... Detective, I spent 35 years testifying in cases like this. I know how the system works, and I know I'm screwed unless you move faster. He looked at the evidence stack. Let me make some calls. I'll try to expedite, but I can't promise anything. 4 p.m. I sat at home watching the hidden camera feed. Darla arrived, paced my living room on her phone. I can't do this anymore. He's my father. Whatever Mom says about plans and backup options, I'm done. My pulse quickened. I turned up the volume. What backup options? Another woman's voice. She won't say exactly, but she said if he fights the guardianship and we can't win, we might need to accelerate his decline naturally. I think she means, I can't even say it. I stopped breathing. This was supposed to be insurance money. Get Dad cared for. Not murder. Darla sank onto my couch, started crying. I used to be a good person, remember? I volunteered at the food bank. I helped families find homes they could actually afford, even when my commission was smaller. I was good. When did I become this? Silence on the other end. Dad taught me to ride a bike. He came to every school play. When my first business failed, he told me failure was just practice for success. He believed in me when nobody else did. And I repaid him by trying to steal his life. Real crying, raw, not manipulation. I sat there, headphones on, listening to my daughter break. She was still in there, the person I raised, buried under debt and desperation and her mother's influence, but still there. 8 p.m. Someone knocked. I checked the camera. Felix, with a suitcase. I opened the door. He looked terrible, thin, exhausted. Dad, I'm sorry for everything, but I can help now. He dragged the hard-shell suitcase inside, opened it on my dining table, papers spilled out, organized in labeled folders. I've been documenting everything for 18 months, every payment Mom extorted from me, every email, every threat. I kept it all. Why? Because I'm a coward who couldn't tell you, but I'm not stupid. I knew eventually this would explode and I needed proof I was forced into it. Wire transfers, cryptocurrency exchanges, cash withdrawals, 18 months of financial records. My son brought 18 months of financial records in a hard-shell suitcase. Like he was a briefcase handcuffed accountant in a heist movie. I was weirdly proud. Including these. He pulled out printed emails. These are from 2 years ago, Mom planning her exit strategy, discussing clean breaks and fresh starts. This wasn't a crisis. This was premeditated. I called Moore. He arrived at 10. We spread everything across the table. Midnight, 3 men, coffee, evidence wall like a detective show. This changes everything, Moore said. How? This proves premeditation. Your wife started planning this fraud over 2 years ago. That elevates charges significantly. Can we stop the guardianship hearing? Maybe. With Felix's testimony, financial records, and your recordings, we can petition for emergency injunction. What are the odds? Better than this morning. Still not great, but better. Moore looked at me. You understand what this means? If we file all this, your family goes to prison. All of them. I looked at the wedding photo on my phone. They were willing to kill me, so yes, I'm willing. Felix sat across from me. Dad, you okay? I removed the headphones, played him Darla's recording. Am I doing the right thing? They tried to steal your life. Darla sounds scared, guilty. Maybe she'd testify against Fiona. Maybe there's another way. Dad, she participated for over a year. She brought you to that spa to drug you. Whatever guilt she feels now doesn't erase that. I know, but she's still my daughter, and I'm about to destroy her. Moore's phone rang. Midnight call. He frowned. What? When? Jesus. Okay, I'll tell him. Hung up, looked at me. That was my paralegal. They filed a motion this afternoon. Emergency hearing moved up to Thursday, day after tomorrow. They can do that? If they claim imminent danger to the ward, yes. My phone buzzed. Unknown number, photo attached, picture of me and Felix through my living room window. Taken tonight, from outside, clear shot of us looking at documents. Message, we know you're planning something. It won't work. You're old, sick, and alone. Drop this now, or everyone gets hurt. F. Felix saw it, went white. Dad, she's watching us right now. Moore went to the window. Silver Nissan, still there. I stared at the photo. Fiona was threatening her own son. Everyone gets hurt. I looked at Moore. File everything. Tomorrow morning, everything we've got. Character count, 5,991, Part 9. Thursday morning, February 27th. I arrived at Maricopa County Superior Court at 8:30. Felix walked beside me, hand on my elbow. Not because I needed support, because he needed the connection. Moore carried the briefcase full of evidence. 3 months of work reduced to files and recordings. Reporters on the courthouse steps shouted questions. I ignored them, kept walking. Inside, courtroom 4C. Wood paneling, high ceiling, fluorescent lights. Smelled like old paper and nervous sweat. They were already seated at the defense table. Darla in a navy suit, hair perfect. Vernon in his best shirt, still sweating. Fiona, Helen, in the brown wig and glasses, sitting between them. Their attorney, Robert Castellano, wore a suit that cost more than my car. Smiled like he'd already won. They turned when I entered. Fiona's eyes met mine. 40 years of marriage in that look. Then her mask slipped back on. Judge Linda Sorensen took the bench. Elderly woman, sharp eyes, known for caution in elder cases. Let's begin. Castellano presented their petition first. Called his witnesses. Dr. Chen testified about my documented cognitive decline. Described tests I never took. Recommended immediate supervised care. Vernon testified next. Described my paranoid episodes. The spa incident as evidence I was danger to myself. His hands shook the entire time. Wouldn't look at me. Darla took the stand, controlled, professional. Described her loving father who needs help. Last week he called me at 3 a.m. asking where my mother was. She died a year ago. Tears on cue. Watching him decline is heartbreaking. He's such a wonderful man. Was such a wonderful man. He needs care before he hurts himself. I sat making notes, pen tapping the pad. Moore placed his hand over mine to stop it. Helen testified as financial consultant. Professional assessment of my inability to manage assets. Recommended immediate guardian appointment. During break, Castellano approached Moore in the hallway. Let's avoid embarrassment. Your client accepts guardianship. We ensure good care. Everyone wins. Moore declined. We'll present our defense. After break, Moore stood. Your Honor, Mr. Harper would like to present evidence. My laptop connected to the courtroom screen. I pulled up the first file. Hands steady now. This moment I'd been building toward. Your Honor, these are recordings from my home over the past 10 days. Vernon's voice filled the courtroom. Once the guardianship process is complete, we can expedite the transfer. Darla's sharp. Vernon. Silence. Complete silence. Would you like to hear more? Castellano jumped up. Objection. This is overruled. I'll hear it. Continue, Mr. Harper. Second recording. Fiona and Vernon in my living room. Fiona's voice. He cried at my funeral like a baby. He's clueless. Gasps from the audience. Judge Sorensen leaned forward. Is that... Ms. Voss, is that your mother's voice? Darla frozen. Couldn't answer. Third recording. Banking records on screen. The $500,000 transfer. Three-way split. Forged death certificate. Fourth recording. Darla's voice. If he fights the guardianship and we can't win, we might need to accelerate his decline naturally. The courtroom exploded. Fiona screamed. That's illegal! He recorded us without consent! Chair crashed backward as she stood, pointed at me with shaking finger. You bastard! You tricked us! Moore, calm. Arizona is one-party consent state, Your Honor. Mr. Harper was present for all conversations in his own home. Fiona tried to leave. Bailiff blocked the door. Vernon collapsed in his chair, head in hands, sobbing. Darla sat like a statue, face white, hands gripping table edge. Judge Sorensen picked up her phone, made a call from the bench. 10 minutes later, Detective Walsh entered with 2 uniformed officers. Fiona Harper, you're under arrest for insurance fraud, identity theft, conspiracy to commit elder abuse. Rights read, handcuffs clicking shut. She fought. Bailiff held firm. You'll regret this, all of you. I didn't do anything to you, Fiona. You did this to yourself. I loved you. No, you love my money. There's a difference. Vernon went quietly, still sobbing. I tried to warn you. I called you. I know. Then why didn't you stop? We could have worked something out. You tried to steal my life, Vernon. There's no working that out. Darla hadn't spoken. Officer approached with handcuffs. Dad? I looked at her, said nothing. Dad, please, I did, but not... Dad? I turned away. Ma'am, hands behind your back. Daddy, please, say something, anything. I walked toward the door with more. I'm sorry! Dad, I'm sorry! Her voice echoed in the courtroom as we left. Judge Sorensen addressed the empty defense table. The guardianship petition is dismissed with prejudice. Mr. Harper, this court apologizes. What you've been subjected to is unconscionable. Thank you, Your Honor. You are clearly of sound mind, sounder than most people half your age. The judge apologized to me. In 35 years of expert testimony, I'd never seen a judge apologize to anyone. Apparently, attempted elder abuse via fraudulent guardianship petition crosses a line. Good to know where we draw those. Outside, courthouse steps, 1:15 p.m. I sat on a concrete bench, Felix beside me, Horace on the other side, Velma standing nearby. Police cars had disappeared around the corner 20 minutes ago. I kept staring at the spot. Dad, you want to get lunch? Celebrate? I'm not hungry. Silence. Horace. You did the right thing. Did I? Velma. Yes, you absolutely did. I looked at them. Then why does it feel like I lost? Nobody answered. Felix reached over, took my hand. You've still got me, Dad. I'm not going anywhere. I squeezed back. Small comfort, but something. I stood, picked up my briefcase. Let's go home. Which home, though? The one filled with memories of people who betrayed me? That answer would have to wait. 3 months later, May 15th, I woke in a small apartment in Paradise Valley, 2 bedrooms, 1,200 square feet. Rent was $1,800 a month, drastic downsize from the house. The house I'd sold in April because I couldn't stay there. Every room held memories. Every corner whispered betrayal, morning routine, coffee alone, breakfast alone, newspaper alone, new normal, quiet, empty. I'd lost 15 pounds, looked older, slept poorly. Saw a therapist named Dr. Avery Chen every week, no relation to the corrupt one. I checked. The mail came at 10. Letter from Arizona State Prison Complex, Perryville, Darla's handwriting. 4th one this month. I opened it, 4 pages, handwritten, tear-stained. Dad, I don't know if you'll read this. I wouldn't blame you if you threw it away, but I have to try. She apologized, explained how it started small. Mom saying she was leaving, just needed space. Then the debts, Vernon's crypto losses, her gambling, drowning. I told myself it was for everyone's good. But Dad, the truth is I was scared. I read it 3 times, sat with it for an hour, then drove to the prison. 45 minutes through desert heat. Sat in the parking lot for 20 minutes, stared at the entrance, hand on door handle, couldn't get out, not ready, maybe never would be. Drove home. Back at the kitchen table, I held the letter, almost called Felix, didn't. This decision was mine alone, tore it in half, then quarters, threw it in the trash, covered it with coffee grounds so I couldn't change my mind. My phone rang, Velma inviting me to coffee. We met at a place in Old Town. She looked good, happy. I started dating someone, Gary. He's an architect, 58. I'm happy for you. Everyone deserves a second chance at happiness. Even you, Quentin. Stop hiding in that apartment. She'd organized a support group. Elder abuse survivors met weekly. Would I come? I agreed to try. Evening, home alone. looking at photos on my phone, family pictures from years ago. Everyone smiling when it was real. I deleted none of them. They happened. They were real once. That matters. Felix video called from Toronto. Dad, I got the job. Senior architect position. I can work remote. Thinking of moving back to Arizona, to be closer, if you want. I'd like that. But Felix, I need you to understand something. Trust is rebuilt slowly. I love you, but I don't fully trust you yet. Tears in his eyes. I understand. I'll earn it back, however long it takes. After the call, I stepped onto my small balcony. Sunset over Camelback Mountain. First time in months, I felt something besides emptiness. Not happiness, not peace, but possibility. That's something. Attorney Moore had updated me on everyone's fates. Fiona. 4 years at Perryville. Age 69 when she gets out. $250,000 in restitution. Permanent felony record. Divorce finalized. Her family disowned her. Darla. 3 years. Real estate license permanently revoked. Divorced from Vernon while both in prison. Lost everything. Writes me letters I don't answer. Vernon. 2.5 years. Filed bankruptcy. Crypto creditors still pursuing. Drinks heavily. Gained 40 pounds. Looks destroyed. Dr. Chen. 18 months. Medical license revoked permanently. Career over at 52. Justice served. Cold, empty justice. My therapist asked last week, "How do you feel about Darla's letter?" "I don't know." "That's okay. You don't have to know yet." She sounded genuine. "Does that change what she did?" "No." "Does it change how you feel?" "Yes, and I hate that it does." "Why?" "Because she doesn't deserve my sympathy. She tried to destroy me, but she's still your daughter." "Is she?" "The daughter I raised wouldn't have done this. So who is she now?" The sun dipped below the mountain, my reflection in the sliding glass door. Older man, grayer, thinner, more lines. Survivor, victor, victim, all three. I'd paid for every line in that face. Paid with family I'd never get back. Was it worth it? I won my freedom, my assets, my dignity. Lost my family, my peace, my certainty about people. Fair trade? I didn't know. Ask me tomorrow, or next year, or never. Some questions don't have answers, only choices. And I made mine. Felix sent me a care package last week. Maple cookies, a Canadians hockey calendar, and a book called Healing Family Trauma. Subtle, son. Real subtle. I ate the cookies, hung the calendar, put the book on my shelf. Maybe I'll read it. Maybe I'll use it as a coaster. Time to go inside. Heat the lasagna Felix left in my freezer. Even from Toronto, my son took care of me. Watch Jeopardy. Go to bed. Wake up tomorrow. Do it again. This is victory. This is what winning looks like. Not Hollywood triumph, just forward motion. One day, then another. 6 months later, a package arrived. No return address. Inside, the blue vase. The one from my 25th anniversary. Oregon blue skies, when we were young. Note attached, Darla's handwriting. Found this in Mom's storage unit before they auctioned it. Thought you should have it. No response needed. Just wanted you to have something that meant something good, once. D. I held it for a long time, set it on my kitchen counter. Didn't throw it away, didn't prominently display it, just there, part of my history. Can't erase the past, can't forgive it fully, but can acknowledge it existed. It meant something once. Maybe that's enough. Sunday afternoon. Horace is grilling burgers. Invited me over. Velma's bringing Gary. Felix moves back next month. Support group meets Tuesday. These small things, these chosen connections, not replacement for what I lost. Never could be, but something. I look at the vase, then at the calendar Felix sent, then at my phone. Another letter from Darla will probably arrive tomorrow. Might read it. Probably won't respond. Maybe in a year, maybe 5, maybe never. I'm allowed that. Justice was served. Forgiveness is optional and expensive. Costs more than I can pay right now. The sunset paints the sky orange and purple. Small balcony, but the view is mine. I can live with that. If you like this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions of this story in the comments. To listen to the next story, click on the box on the left. Thank you for watching.